first she had Lenny Kravitz, and then she had Jason Momoa, and everybody was like, oh man, she must have struck some deal with she had both those guys.
Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet are divorcing after 16 years.
From the 2007, the couple welcomed their first child, a daughter named Lola. The arrival of their baby girl cemented their bond even further and marked the beginning of a new chapter for them. Jason, who had always dreamed of having a family, was overjoyed at the thought of building a life with Lisa. Just a year later, their family grew once more with the birth of their son, Nakoa Wolf. For Jason, these were the golden years. He had the woman of his dreams, 2 beautiful children, and a sense of purpose that extended far beyond his budding career. To the outside world, their life together seemed picture perfect, a testament to the power of love and commitment. Over the years, Jason and Lisa became one of Hollywood's most admired couples. They weren't just partners, they were collaborators in life, supporting each other through thick and thin. Jason often credited Lisa with helping him navigate the ups and downs of the entertainment industry. Her experience and wisdom became his guiding light, and he made no secret of the fact that she was his rock. Lisa, in turn, spoke about how Jason brought joy and vitality into her life, describing him as a force of nature who reminded her to embrace the beauty of the present moment. Together, they seemed to embody the idea that love could conquer all, even the challenges that come with fame and fortune.
You guys look good tonight. Who is this that you're wearing? Do you know?
Yeah,
Hell
McQueen.
yeah.
What's that?
McQueen.
Very nice. What about you? You got a...
Valentino.
Oh, beautiful.
Carlo.
Dude, you guys, so obviously you guys have been together for quite a while, but you made it official. Do you feel like newlyweds again?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If I wasn't on camera right now, I would tell you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
In 2017, after more than a decade together, Jason and Lisa decided to make it official with a private wedding ceremony. The event was intimate and understated, a reflection of the couple's desire to keep their personal lives sacred. Friends and family gathered to celebrate their love, and for a moment, it seemed as though their story had reached its happily ever after. But as they stood side by side, promising to spend the rest of their lives together, neither could have predicted the challenges that lay ahead. As Jason's career began to take off, the dynamics of their relationship started to shift in subtle but significant ways. By the time he landed the role of Arthur Curry in Aquaman, Jason had become one of Hollywood's most sought-after leading men. With his newfound fame came a whirlwind of responsibilities, relentless filming schedules, global press tours, and an ever-growing public presence. While Jason thrived in the spotlight, Lisa found herself retreating further into the quiet life she had always cherished. For someone who had already experienced the chaos of fame during her younger years, Lisa had no desire to be thrust back into that world. She preferred the calm and stability of their home in Los Angeles, a place where she could focus on raising their children and nurturing her own passions.
Yeah, I've always wanted to meet her, and she was a queen always. And when I met her, we met at this jazz club, and we just happened to be at the right place, right time, mutual friends. And I actually had dreaded my hair almost for her. I had huge dreadlocks, and they were...
By the beginning, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's relationship seemed like it had been written in the stars. Their story was one of those rare Hollywood romances that felt both legendary and grounded, making fans believe they had found something truly extraordinary. Jason himself had often referred to Lisa as his dream woman, and in some ways, that wasn't just a romantic notion, it was a literal truth. Long before they met, Jason had admired Lisa from afar, captivated by her role as Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show. For a young Jason, Lisa wasn't just a childhood crush, she was the epitome of grace, beauty, and intelligence. So, when fate brought them together in 2005 at a jazz club in Los Angeles, it was like a scene straight out of a movie. But as magical as their origin story was, it's now clear that even the most enchanting beginnings don't always guarantee a fairy tale ending.
And it was more than that, because ever since I was like 8 years old and I saw her on the TV, and I was like, Mommy, I want that one. I'm like, I'm gonna stalk you for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna get you.
Oh, was there stalking
a
involved?
full-fledged stalker.
When Jason first saw Lisa in person, it was as though time stood still for him. He had spent years joking with friends that one day he would marry her, but even he couldn't have imagined that his childhood fantasy would actually become a reality. This wasn't just another Hollywood meet cute. It felt like destiny. Jason, still early in his acting career at the time, was full of youthful energy and enthusiasm. Lisa, on the other hand, exuded a calm wisdom that made her seem untouchable, yet deeply alluring. At 12 years Jason's senior, Lisa had already lived through the highs and lows of fame, as well as the challenges of love and heartbreak. She had been married before to musician Lenny Kravitz and was raising their daughter Zoe with a level of grace that Jason couldn't help but admire. To him, Lisa was the perfect mix of strength and serenity, and he quickly became determined to win her over.
You and your partner, Lisa Bonet, you've just got married last month.
Stop it.
12 years together, 2 kids.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, you finally put a ring on it.
Yeah, yep. Finally, man.
Their initial connection was electric, and despite their differences in age and life experience, the chemistry between them was undeniable. Lisa, who had seen her fair share of Hollywood types, found something refreshingly genuine in Jason's playful and adventurous spirit. He was bold yet kind, and his larger-than-life personality seemed to perfectly complement her grounded demeanor. Friends of the couple often describe their dynamic as fire and water, two opposing forces that somehow created balance and harmony. Jason brought excitement and spontaneity to Lisa's life, while she provided him with the stability and wisdom he craved. Together, they seemed unstoppable, a perfect match that defied the odds.
Yeah.
I'm going to speculate on some things. I mean, there's some speculation around that maybe he's been, had some infidelity. I always say there's the 3 A's, the 3 deadly sins of marriage, which is abuse, addiction, and adultery. And I have seen some little cracks in this little thing.
By the time the world began to notice signs of trouble in their marriage, Jason and Lisa had already been grappling with these challenges for years. For fans, the idea that this seemingly perfect couple could be struggling was almost unthinkable. Jason and Lisa had always presented a united front, a testament to the power of love and partnership, but behind closed doors, the reality was far more complicated. Their once unbreakable bond had been tested in ways they never anticipated, and despite their best efforts, they couldn't find their way back to the love they once shared.
I have okay, so apparently she had been with Jason for like a long time, really long time. They only tied the knot in 2017, but when they tied the knot, they had actually been together for a couple of...
At first, the couple managed to navigate these changes with grace. Jason would often gush about Lisa in interviews, crediting her as the reason he remained grounded amidst the chaos of his rising stardom. Lisa, in turn, supported Jason from afar, cheering him on as he achieved milestone after milestone in his career. But as time went on, the physical and emotional distance between them began to take its toll. For Jason, the demands of his career meant spending more time away from home, often for months at a time. For Lisa, the absence of her partner created a void that was difficult to fill. What once felt like a shared journey began to feel like 2 separate paths, and neither could ignore the growing divide. Adding to the complexity of their relationship was Lisa's close bond with her ex-husband, Lenny Kravitz. While Jason had always been supportive of their co-parenting arrangement, insiders say that the strength of Lisa and Lenny's friendship sometimes created tension behind the scenes. Jason, who had worked tirelessly to build a life with Lisa, couldn't help but feel like he was living in the shadow of her past. Although he publicly admired Lenny and even formed a friendship with him, the lingering presence of Lisa's former life added another layer of strain to their already complicated relationship.
That's not a good look. There was another report back in November that he was stumbling out of a bar at 3 a.m. with a female companion, and he was not looking very sober there.
Still, Jason and Lisa were determined to make things work. They had built a life together that was worth fighting for, and they didn't take their commitment lightly. For years, they worked to bridge the gaps that had formed between them, hoping to recapture the magic that once defined their love story. But as time went on, it became increasingly clear that their relationship was no longer the sanctuary it had once been. The cracks in their foundation, though initially small and manageable, had grown too deep to ignore.
Feeling that that's kind of what brought them together in the first place, and that's something that they've all known for a long period of time. I don't think that that's what really caused the issue in the first place, but I have a feeling that that's something that maybe brought them together in the first place, right? I don't think that's what caused the breakup. I have a feeling that other things may.
The announcement of their separation in 2022 sent shockwaves through their fan base. But for those closest to the couple, it was a long time coming. Jason and Lisa had reached a point where they could no longer ignore the truth. Their lives were moving in different directions, and the love that had once been their anchor was no longer enough to keep them together. In their joint statement, they spoke about the changes and challenges that had led to their decision, emphasizing their mutual respect and commitment to co-parenting their children. It was a graceful and dignified end to a relationship that had once seemed unshakable, but it left fans with more questions than answers. What had gone wrong? How could a love story that seemed so perfect have unraveled so completely? And perhaps most intriguingly, what did Jason mean when he reportedly referred to Lisa as disgusting? These questions would linger in the air, fueling speculation and rumors as the world tried to make sense of their breakup. For Jason and Lisa, however, the focus was no longer on what had brought them to this point, but on how they could move forward with grace and integrity. The cracks in Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's relationship didn't appear overnight. On the surface, they seemed like the ultimate Hollywood power couple. She, a serene and soulful presence, and he, a larger-than-life adventurer carving out his place among the elite of Hollywood. But as the saying goes, not everything is as it seems. Beneath the polished exterior of their love story, subtle tensions were slowly starting to brew, and over time, those minor fissures turned into undeniable fractures that neither could patch up. The fairy tale was unraveling, and the reasons behind their split are far more complex than anyone could have imagined. It's easy to romanticize the idea of opposites attracting. Jason and Lisa's relationship was built on that very premise, his untamed energy balanced by her calming wisdom. For years, it worked. But as Jason's star began to rise, the very qualities that made them a perfect match started to pull them apart. Jason's career trajectory exploded after he landed the role of Aquaman, catapulting him from a relatively niche actor into a household name practically overnight. Suddenly, he was front and center at blockbuster premieres, rubbing shoulders with industry giants and constantly on the move. His schedule grew more demanding with each passing year, leaving little room for the quiet moments that had once defined their relationship.
But if you've watched this couple over the years, you're sort of like, this makes sense. This makes sense on how they would move if they were going to get a divorce. I know a lot of you are shocked, and some of you are throwing your hat in the ring for Jason Momoa. Can we have a moment, please? Can we just mourn the loss of this relationship? To be honest with you, when I saw the notification about this, I said, really?
Lisa, in contrast, had already experienced her time in the Hollywood spotlight. She had lived through the chaos that comes with fame during her younger years, and it was clear she had no intention of revisiting that lifestyle. While Jason was driven by his passion for acting and the thrill of new opportunities, Lisa found solace in the sanctuary of their home in Los Angeles. She valued privacy, quiet routines, and the stability of family life, values that clashed with the relentless pace of Jason's burgeoning career. At first, they tried to make it work. Lisa supported Jason from afar, cheering him on as he pursued his dreams. But the physical distance, which had once been manageable, became more than just miles. It grew into an emotional chasm, one that neither of them knew how to bridge. Friends close to the couple began to notice the strange. While Lisa stayed grounded, focusing on raising their two children, Lola and Nakoa Wolf, Jason was swept up in a whirlwind of international press tours, on-set obligations, and high-profile events. The man who had once been fully present, her partner in every sense, was now almost always absent. According to insiders, Lisa began to feel like she was standing still, waiting for someone who was no longer there. And for Jason, being away from home for extended periods of time meant grappling with the guilt of missing out on the life they had built together. He loved Lisa deeply, but his career demanded sacrifices that neither of them had anticipated. Came the pandemic. For many couples, the global shutdown provided an opportunity to reconnect and spend quality time together. But for Jason and Lisa, it had the opposite effect. Being confined to the same space for an extended period forced them to confront the growing divide in their relationship. Lisa, ever the introspective one, embraced the stillness of lockdown, using the time to reflect and find peace within herself. Jason, however, felt restless. Used to a life of constant movement and action, he found himself grappling with feelings of being trapped. The differences in how they coped with the situation highlighted just how far apart they had drifted. According to those close to the couple, arguments became more frequent during this time. Small disagreements over household matters would escalate into larger discussions about their future. Jason reportedly felt the weight of Lisa's dissatisfaction, while Lisa struggled with Jason's inability to slow down and be fully present. It was during one of these heated moments that Jason allegedly muttered the now infamous phrase, "She's disgusting." While the comment initially—
But now, a relationship I didn't see coming to an end, Jason Momoa, Aquaman, and Lisa Bonet, A Different World, The Cosby Show, and literally like a vampire because she has not aged. They are divorcing after 16 years together, only being married though for 4 years. The two got married back in 2017.
As 2020 came to a close, it became clear to both Jason and Lisa that their relationship was no longer sustainable. The love that had once been their anchor now felt like a burden, something they were holding onto out of obligation, rather than genuine connection. By the time they announced their separation in early 2022, the decision had already been made months earlier. Their public statements spoke of love evolving and paths diverging, but behind those carefully chosen words was a deeper truth. They had grown apart in ways neither could repair. For fans, the news of their breakup was devastating. Jason and Lisa had been a symbol of enduring love in an industry known for fleeting romances. Their relationship had inspired countless people, making it all the more difficult to accept that it was over. But for those who knew them personally, the announcement came as no surprise. The signs had been there for years, hidden beneath the surface but impossible to ignore.
Iolani and then Nakoa Wolf.
Nicole,
Nakoa,
what are their ages?
Wolf's gonna be 10 in a week, and Lola's 11 and a half.
And now, does Lola live up to her name? Because I have a Lola, and Lolas are strong personality.
I'm not worried at all.
The name chooses them, I feel like.
Yes.
Another layer of complexity to their relationship was Lisa's enduring connection with her ex-husband, Lenny Kravitz. The two had remained close friends long after their divorce, often praising each other publicly for their ability to co-parent their daughter, Zoe Kravitz. While Jason had always expressed admiration for Lenny and even formed a friendship with him, sources suggest that the dynamic wasn't always as harmonious as it seemed. Jason, despite his laid-back demeanor, reportedly struggled with the ever-present reminder of Lisa's past. The strength of Lisa and Lenny's bond, while admirable, sometimes left Jason feeling like an outsider in his own home. It wasn't just about jealousy, it was about the lingering question of whether he would ever truly have all of Lisa's heart. But the challenges didn't stop there. Jason and Lisa's parenting styles also became a point of contention as their children grew older. Lisa, known for her structured and disciplined approach, believed in providing their children with a stable and grounded upbringing. Jason, on the other hand, embraced a more free-spirited philosophy, encouraging adventure and exploration. While these differences had once complemented each other, over time they became sources of friction. Navigating the complexities of raising two young people while managing their own personal struggles only added to the strain on their relationship.
One of the shows or any of the films that really stood out to you? Too many.
Big Little
There's
Lies.
too many. That's it.
Big Little Lies.
That one?
Jason later clarified that it wasn't meant as an attack on Lisa's character. Instead, it was a reflection of his own frustration and unhappiness. He felt like they had become
Secretive, very, you don't know a lot of their business. And so, as I said before, this message, it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense on how they would move.
As 2020 came, as they navigated the aftermath of their separation, Jason and Lisa remained committed to one thing, their family. Despite their differences, they shared a deep mutual respect and a desire to provide their children with a stable and loving environment. Co-parenting became their new focus, and they worked tirelessly to ensure that Lola and Nakoa Wolf felt supported through the transition. It was a testament to the strength of their character and the depth of their love for their children. But even as they moved forward, the question lingered, could this have been avoided? Was there a moment when things could have gone differently, when they might have found a way to reconnect? Or was their split inevitable, the result of two people growing in separate directions? For Jason and Lisa, those answers may never come. What's clear, however, is that their journey together, while imperfect, was filled with lessons and moments of profound love.
But now you're married, you've got kids. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're married
to one of my favorite actresses of all time.
Yeah.
Lisa Bonet, I feel like, is my sister, but she just never knew that we were sisters. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah.
I'm sure she hears that from all women, but I really felt like we grew up together, but she never knew me.
Yeah.
I only knew her.
Then, as they navigated the aftermath of their separation, Jason and Lisa remained committed to one thing, their family. Despite their differences, they shared a deep mutual respect and a desire to provide their children with a stable and loving environment. Co-parenting became their new focus, and they worked tirelessly to ensure that Lola and Nakoa Wolf felt supported through the transition. It was a testament to the strength of their character and the depth of their love for their children. But even as they moved forward, the question lingered, could this have been avoided? Was there a moment when things could have gone differently, when they might have found a way to reconnect? Or was their split inevitable, the result of two people growing in separate directions? For Jason and Lisa, those answers may never come. What's clear, however, is that their journey together, while imperfect, was filled with lessons and moments of profound love.
Oh, yeah.
There's some stuff to say.
Seriously. Big time.
Does it feel different?
Yeah.
How so? I was with my wife for 7 years before we got married, and it definitely felt different once we put the ring on.
Absolutely. I never thought it would, but I mean, we have a 10.5-year-old and 9-year-old. I plan on doing it the rest of my life. There's just that moment where let's go to the next level.
Yeah.
As Jason continued to reflect on their relationship, he began to open up about the toll his success had taken on his personal life. In interviews, he spoke candidly about the pressures of fame and the sacrifices he had made to achieve his dreams. You don't realize how much you lose of what really mattered. It was a heartbreaking realization, but one that allowed Jason to begin the process of healing. For Lisa, the end of their marriage marked the beginning of a new chapter. Known for her wisdom and resilience, she approached the transition with grace, focusing on her own growth and the well-being of her family. While the love she and Jason shared may have changed, it was clear that she still held a deep respect for the man who had been such a significant part of her life.
What?
Yeah.
There's some stuff to say.
Seriously. Big time.
Does it feel different?
Yeah.
How so? I was with my wife for 7 years before we got married, and it definitely felt different once we put the ring on.
Absolutely. I never thought it would, but I mean, we have a 10.5-year-old and 9-year-old. I plan on doing it the rest of my life. There's just that moment where let's go to the next level.
Yeah.
As in Lisa's story is a reminder that even the most magical love stories can face challenges. Their relationship, while filled with joy and passion, was also marked by struggles that ultimately proved insurmountable. But rather than dwelling on what was lost, they chose to focus on what remained, their devotion to their family and the lessons they had learned along the way. And in doing so, they showed the world that love, even when it changes form, can still be a powerful force for growth and connection. What do you think about Jason and Lisa's relationship? Do you believe their love story could have had a different ending, or was their split inevitable? Share your thoughts and comments with us in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.